Our nation also needs a stabilized healthcare which is affordable and accessible to the public. Public means the people who are from the villages, who are from the tier 3 cities.
You are listening Nursing Leaders Opinion, crafted by Nursing News India. National Nursing and Midwifery Commission bill is going to be finalized very soon. In this episode, we are going to discuss the opinion from the nursing leaders in the industry. We have a very special guest with us, Jibin TC, National Working Secretary and State President of United Nurses Association. We'll talk about NNMC Bill 2020. So here are my questions on the NNMC bill for you. As per your letter to the Health Ministry, you stated the similarity between National Nursing and Midwifery Commission and National Medical Commission. Would you please explain the similarity?
Okay, so at a glance, if I look at a National Nursing and Midwifery Commission bill and the National Medical Commission bill, which is, if you look at the constitution of the commission, which is almost same, except a few things. Like in NMMC, all the committee members or the people who are sitting in the National Medical Commission, they are nominated members by the central government. So there are no democratic way of electing members or election process has been held in the National Medical Commission. Similar way, they have drafted in the National Nursing and Midwifery Commission also. Except one thing that they have still retained the state medical commission. So, but in the case of National Nursing and Midwifery Commission, even the State Nursing Council will be dissolved, and instead of the State Nursing Council, there will be a State Nursing and Midwifery Commission. So this is the only difference which they have made it in National Nursing and Midwifery Commission. Apart from that, almost everything is same. And in Nursing Commission, they have included the doctors also. I mean, the representative from the National Medical Commission and representation from the ICMR also will be included in nursing bill. But in medical commission, only medical doctors and the health secretary will be there as a committee members. So this is a main difference we can find out, when you consider with both the bills. And medical commission just, they have introduced a year ago. And after a year, they are trying to impose another one, which is nursing commission. So we can see that, okay, both the bills are almost similar.
If medical commission and nursing commission are similar, that means nursing profession is getting empowered. What do you say about this?
Okay, see, as I said, there is only a few portions are like, are like medical commission. Okay, especially the constitution of medical commission. In the constitution, they have only nominated members are there in the commission. Similar way, they have made it in nursing commission also, which does not mean that the profession will have better future. It never says that. So when you really go in depth with the commission, you will really understand what are the deficit in the commission, and will it be really helpful for the nursing fraternity, or will it be helpful for the public in our country. When we come up with any kind of commissions, especially medical and nursing commission, it should be beneficial for the public, because we are making it for the use of public. So here, when I read this nursing commission, I can really tell you that this is not benefiting anybody except the government and the private lobby. So I don't see this commission would increase the standard of nursing in India. Neither it is going to decrease the standard of nursing in India. That's what I can tell you.
You said in your letter it should be a vision document having rights for nurses with legal empowerment and recognition. My question is, what do you want to indicate here?
Okay, rights for the nurses means, see, here, as I said earlier, all the positions are being nominated by the central government. And that also, the nurses working with central government institutions will be nominated. Okay, which means they're already working under the government of India. Okay, so the government have a complete control over these nurses, and they will be nominated to the commission. Suppose if they wanted to, express some of the nurses issue, they wouldn't able to do that because they're all under these Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So they have to follow the government rules and regulations. So in that time, like, nurses would not have a voice to, express themselves because they don't have power. So in another way I can quote in this way, like, if the government would allow us to be an elected member, okay, so the election from the nursing fraternity itself, then there are a lot of nurses, good nursing leaders in India. They would be part of this commission, and they can raise their voice for the right of the patient and right of nurses. So this is the difference. And of course, in the bill also they have mentioned you cannot legally fight against the government. Okay, this is also against your fundamental rights of the country. Okay, none of the government cannot quote like that. You cannot fight against the government. Okay, if the government is wrong, of course we'll have to fight against them. And we have seen many cases against the government is going on in the Supreme Court, right? So I think this is also something very important. The nurses should be given an opportunity as per their quality, not as per the recommendation from the government. There should not be, yes, there should be a nominated members, but it should be in equal way. Suppose if the government wants to nominate 5 members, the rest of the 5 members should be elected among these nurses. I mean, the nursing fraternity should decide who should be ruling them, not the government.
As per your letter, nursing associate, midwife associate, and nursing care assistants should have a separate organization such as paramedic council. Would you please explain this point in detail?
First of all, my simple question to government: why do you want to add this into our profession? Okay, why do you want to use nurse or a midwife along with another people who are not trained well? Okay, so the nursing and midwife have got their own, the syllabus. I mean, after their completion, they should be given a license from the state nursing councils. If you don't have a license, you cannot practice it. But these associates would be people who would be maybe like after 10 standard, they would be going for a training for maybe 3 months or 6 months time. And after that, they would be named as a nursing associate or midwifery associate. And these people will be working in the hospital or in the clinic setup wherein they will be handling the patient. So the patient care is going to be hampered, and the patient safety is going to be hampered here. You cannot identify as a patient when somebody goes to hospital, you cannot differentiate who is a nurse and who is a nursing associate. Ideally, for the public, everybody is healthcare providers. And the hospital, especially the private hospital, is going to make a use of it, because they're going to replace the qualified nurses with the nursing associate and the midwifery associate, by which they will be, over profiting by, not giving the better package to the qualified nurses. Than they can appoint these non-qualified people, and they can call them as professionals. And this is what is happening in many of the private hospitals in India. And now the government itself is trying to promote this, and they want this to be come up so that they will be having a lot of manpower in this private area. Anyway, the government will not appoint these people into the public hospitals. To appoint in public hospital, yes, of course, you need a registered nurse. But in private hospital, there are no such criteria. They will definitely make use of it. So that is the reason we have clearly mentioned, no, this is not acceptable. This should be excluded from the commission. And you can take them in different name, and you can take them under different department also. We don't mind that. You can create a paramedical board, or maybe a different board. Under that, you can start these kind of courses. But nursing and midwife, these names should not come under those boards. That should be completely with our commission or our council.
If we see another way, physicians may have physician assistants, mainly when we compare with Western countries. Let's take an example of RN and LPN. They have different categories of licenses. Even some advanced licenses are also there for nurses in America. Separation of profiles are there in other countries as well. Do you think if government brings separate licensing similarly will solve your concerns about engagement of associate by private hospitals?
See, this is a good thought, but the problem again here, the basic thing what the government's supposed to do in India right now is that you need to regulate the private hospitals. You need to take them under a law, which tells exactly what a nurse supposed to do or what a nurse should not do it. As you rightly said, in other countries, they have like LPN, they have registered nurses, they have nurse practitioner, they have anesthetic nurse. So there, the country have made Nursing Practice Act, which clearly says what are the nurses' role and responsibility, and what are the nurses' job profile, which is clearly described under their designations. But here in India, under nursing, it is not described what a nurse is supposed to do, and that is a major issue here. So that's the reason every hospital is exploiting by making the nurses to do all kind of job. Nurses working in private hospital, they do even nursing job, non-nursing job also. Many a times nurses have to do non-nursing job, and this is against the ethical practice. So we don't have that Nursing Practice Act in India. That is a main reason it's getting exploited. Suppose if the government take an initiation for regulating the private hospitals and taking a new law, then there are chances, yes, the scenario might change. And we are, as a professionals, we are ready to welcoming those kind of changes. We are ready to accept it. I will just give an example. So you must be heard about NABH accreditation, right? National Accredited Board of
Yeah,
Hospitals and Healthcare.
right.
So nowadays, you'll find a majority of the hospital, I mean, the major players in India, especially from metro cities, you'll find all these hospitals are accredited by NABH or maybe JCI. Okay. But, the fact is that the NABH does not see the quality nursing care. They always say that, okay, we are the best quality providers. I mean, we make sure that the hospitals follow the best quality standard, but they don't make sure that whether the hospital is having adequate qualified nurses. Okay. As per the Indian Nursing Council, there is a norm should be followed by every hospital. The norms for the hospital nursing staff versus the patient ratio. So ideally, a critical care in a critical care area, for every patient, there should be one qualified nurse. In a normal ward, every 6 patients should have a one qualified nurse. But if you go to any hospitals in India, these norms are not followed. So without following these norms, how would you expect to have a qualified care in the hospital setup? That is our question. And how would this NABH tells you, okay, we are looking at the quality of the nursing care, we are looking at the best quality in these hospitals, and how would they give an accreditation to these kind of hospitals? And who are the authorities take a follow up on these hospitals whether they are following these norms or not? This is happening in our country, especially in private sector. Forget about public health sector. In public, if I look at public hospital, recently we have done a survey and study which shows us that one nurse used to take care of 70 patients above in public hospitals. So imagine a nurse has been allotted with 70 patients in her 1 day shift. So how could she justify all these patients? So these things should be considered very well, because we are compromising the quality of care to the needy one. Okay, especially when a patient comes to the hospital, they really dependent on the healthcare providers. They're completely dependent on nurses and doctors in the hospitals. So if a nurse has been allotted with 70 patients, how would she take care of these 70 patients during her maybe 6 hours or 8 hours shift? How many minutes she can spare with the patients? These are all challenging questions in front of the government. Now government do not want to answer these questions. They just wanted to create something which is irrelevant and which is not useful for the either for the nursing community nor for the public in India. So that is the reason we are completely opposing this bill, and we have mentioned our comments with the reply to the ADG nursing. And I do not know whether they're going to reply it or not. And we have just got a month, just 30 days only we have got to reply for this National Nursing and Midwifery Bill. That is also very less period considering the huge nursing fraternity in India. We have almost like 18 lakh of people, 18 lakh nurses in India. To reach 18 lakh nurses, government gave us only 30 days time, and they expect us to repay for that. This is also not workable. I'm pretty sure that the government have to come up with changes in this National Nursing and Midwifery Commission bill. Else, this is going to be another bad story of nursing, especially in India, and which is not going to helpful for anybody.
One more point, you have indicated in the letter to the ministry that grievances redressal system parallel to the boards should be created. Can you please shed a light on this?
Okay, currently, if you look at our system, let us talk about state-wise, especially because why I'm mentioning about state, because health is the subject of every state. So the state should have the redressal system, especially suppose when a nurse have got some issues at their workplace, either it might be from a public hospital, it might be from a private hospital, or maybe any institutions. He or she should be able to tell this to somebody who can address this issue. Now the scenario is that even when a nurse raises a complaint to the nursing council, they do not have any authority to intervene these issues and come up with the solutions. So that is the reason we are demanding for these kind of redressal system for nurses, so that it will be helpful for all the people who can raise their issues and highlight it, and maybe we can come up with a solution for them. Because if I just wanted to highlight something, recently, when I look at some of the incident happened in Maharashtra itself. Last 3 months, there are 4 nurses committed suicide, and these are all young nurses. Okay, why did they committed suicide? Nobody had done an inquiry. Why did they were into pressure? Why was the reason behind those suicide? Nobody went and asked for it, because we personally inquired with a lot of people and come to know that there was a lot of pressure from their seniors within the hospital, and their working environment was not favorable, and there were no proper support for them. That is the reason they decided to leave. And this is not happening in one state, this is happening across the nation, and nurses are going under tremendous pressure. We are not looking at, because we don't have any system to address their issues. And that is the reason we clearly demanded, yes, we want a system for nurses to address their issues, and I hope the government will listen to it. We are in regular contact with the nurses from different state of India, and we come across with these kind of issues day by day, and which is not reducing. Unfortunately, every day the issues are, every day it is going up. Why is this issues not dropping off? Because there are not support system for these nurses only. Rest all the profession, yes, they have got enough support system, but when it comes to nurses, it's like completely left alone. It's like everybody can come in and everybody can do whatever they feel like, and they can go off. It's like that now. So that is the reason our strong demand for this, and which is mostly the government should approve.
Another point you made related to the implementation of nursing practice. What do you want to say here?
As I said earlier, every country have implemented this Nursing Practice Act, which clearly mentioned in that act the definition of a nurse and what are the nurses' job responsibilities or the job description. So that should be mentioned, so that the hospital cannot exploit them, or the hospital cannot insist them to work a non-nursing job. Now, if you take any nurses the job offer letter, maybe their appointment letter, you would clearly see that the responsibility, which includes almost all the works pertaining to the patient care and non-patient care also. So if the nursing practice comes in place, then it will have a clear understanding. Yes, these are the things a nurse supposed to do in a hospital setup, or maybe in home healthcare setup, or maybe in any scenarios. So then, which will clearly regulate everything. then the hospital also cannot tell them, okay, you'll have to do all the work. No. Then ultimately the nurses will have a better area to practice also, because recently our government has started with nursing practitioner course, which is almost now 2 years. I think that first batch also is already out. But after completing this nursing practitioner course, where are these nurses going to practice it? Will the hospital is going to allow them to sit in an OPD and treat the patient? I don't think so, because the hospital is not going to entertain the nurses sitting in OPD and look at the patient. This is not going to happen. For that, we are demanding for a nursing practice act, which will clearly mention, okay, these nurse practitioner will act as a so and so in this area, or maybe he or she will be responsible for maybe community health centers, maybe public health centers, or maybe clinics. They can start independent practices. That is also another area. This will only happen if the nursing practice come in place. That's the reason we are demanded for it. Now, see, after nursing practice act, okay, so it should be, I mean, they should be given a degree of nursing practitioner act, and under the nursing council they should be registered as a nursing practitioner, right? But in our nursing councils we do not have that particular cadre or particular designations. So right now they are being given as a master in nursing practice, and they will be given a master degree. They've already done a master degree. After master degree only they are joining this nurse practitioner act, so nurse practitioner course. Then why would you need to add one more masters? So rather than, you will have to give them a degree with nurse practitioner name, and they should be registered as a nurse practitioner only. This is our another point.
When we talk about the American nursing profession, we see nurses practice in their own office. Even they can open their own clinic, and there is one more popular nursing area, that certified nurse anesthesiologist, called CRNA. So up to some extent, nurse anesthesiologists work in the absence of a physician. Similarly, if nurses are allowed to open a clinic as a primary caregiver, can this bring balance in the healthcare industry? Because on one side we see there are only 7 lakh physicians, and on other side 2 million nurses. In a similar instance, recently the government is trying to bring Ayurveda physicians to train on surgery. If nurses are allowed as primary caregiver, do you think healthcare workforce shortage can be filled?
See, when we look at our nation, we have like 1.3 billion population. And when we deeply go into rural areas, maybe the tier 3 cities, so there the accessibility to healthcare is very much lacking these days. You would find the corporate hospitals or maybe the multi-speciality hospitals in only in tier 1 cities, which is metro cities. But when I go to a village area, you are lacking with the accessibility to healthcare. So if these come in place like nurse practitioner course, definitely it will be best used for the public who are in these tier 2 and tier 3 cities, because the nurses can start their own independent practices in these areas wherein the public will be getting benefited, and they don't want to travel across all these places and come to a multi-speciality city hospital in a city wherein the hospital will charge you exorbitantly and you are not sure about the quality of care. But at the same time, the nurses work in villages, work in tier 2 tier 3 cities, they provide better care. And we have seen that earlier the midwives used to handle the deliveries, they used to handle independently. Nowadays you hardly see that. Why? Because of the dominancy of the medical fraternity. The medical fraternity do not allow us to do anything nowadays. That is the reason now in India you don't see any nurse practitioner, you don't see any nurse anesthesiologist, or maybe a wound care nurse, or etc. Because they know that, okay, if they give an opportunity to nurses, definitely the nurses will make use of it. The best nurses from India have been migrated to different countries like US, Canada, and other places, and they're doing wonderful job. They're working as a practitioner, they're working as a nurse anesthesiologist, nurse, wound care, they're expertise in different areas. They're all Indian nurses. Why are this brain drain happen? Because we don't have a opportunity. We are not giving opportunity to these nurses to flourish in India, and that's the reason they're moving abroad. So our sincere request to the government to retain these nurses by giving more opportunity. We don't demand it in maybe metro cities. At least, okay, let us start with the rural areas. Let our nurses grow and work in these areas so that the public, especially from these areas, would be benefited.
In your letter, you said nursing professional groups like UNA and others should be included in this commission. But when we see draft bill clause M in the subsection 1 of section 4, which says one person representing charitable institutions engaged in education or services in connection with any recognized category having such qualifications and experience as may be prescribed by the central government to be nominated by the central government member. Do you think this is the indication to include professional groups like UNA and others?
No.
Okay.
See, as per their, their interest, the charitable organization, which means it might be a charitable hospital, it might be a charitable group also. It is not necessary that it's only from a nursing organizations. They have not mentioned it. So they can include anybody which is in their favor. So what is our demand is that the government have to include any nursing associations or union, because they can raise the voice without any fear. Okay, because we don't work for someone's interest. We work for only public need and professional betterment. So we don't have any vested interest in here. And if this all posts are nominated by the government, then how would you raise the issues? Because there are no platform. Because ultimately, the government decides everything, and all the people are in the commission are government nominated, and they are government employees. So this inclusion of nursing associations and union, that is most important, because in the earlier Indian Nursing Council also there was a association called Trained Nurses Association of India. They were one of the member of Indian Nursing Council, and they are the member of every state nursing council even. So the reason we are demanding that, because when we wanted to raise some major issues, if all the members belongs to government body or maybe government nominated, then they would not have would not able to tell them properly, because they are under pressure from the government, because they're already a government employee. But if we, like a UNA or maybe other associations or union, could include into the group, then we can raise our issues without any fear, because we do not have any vested interest, or we are not pressurized by anybody. And another thing is that there was in the Indian Nursing Council, TNA was one of the member, and even in every state nursing council too. So considering that, definitely the nursing fraternity should have representation from their side through these unions and maybe association. That is our major demands.
You have stated that there should be a National Nursing Directorate at central level and State Nursing Directorate at state level. Can you please explain this?
See, right now, if you look at the medical directorate, which is only for the medical professionals and which only covers the public hospitals. So what I demand, the government has already approved the nursing directorate for all the states. And I think Odisha is the one of the state who firstly implemented that nursing directorate in their state. So what our demand is that every state should have nursing directorate, which will be controlled by nurses. There also, we don't want doctors to be, holding all the positions in the nursing directorate. What is currently going on? Why? Because if the nursing directorate has been headed by a doctor, then he or she would not be interested in nursing profession. He would rather be interested in only supporting the private hospitals, because all the private hospitals are owned by medical doctors. So they would have favorable approach to their colleagues. And why we are demanding the nursing directorate? Because then it will be only for the nurses working in private and public sectors, and they will be making the policies and norms related to the hospitals and other institutions. So the nurses can really highlight, or they can raise their issues to these nursing directorate, and the nursing directorate will have power to intervene these issues and come to a conclusion. And this is something very much in need of today's scenario.
You had some concerns about licensing exam that is called national exit test as well. What are your points on this?
Okay, in current scenario, every nurse who has completed their graduation or maybe diploma from recognized universities or recognized colleges under the state nursing council are allowed for registering under any nursing council in India. But in after this nursing commission, what it says, you need to have an exit exam. So once you clear the exit exam, then you will be eligible for getting your license. So our question is very simple here. You have already done your course and your university exam has been over. And after that, why you need an exit exam to get your license? That is a question, first thing. Because why we are asking this? Because now again, the government is giving a chance for the public player to exploit nurses. By keeping this exit exam, again, the nurses have to run around. They'll have to pay a lot of fees to the private players, and it's a time-consuming process. Our syllabus itself is a very elaborated syllabus which covers most of the topics in the medical profession. And after that, the government wants an exit exam, which is we cannot accept it. And another thing is about the registration licensing. The government is demanding now a central registration and a state registration. Currently, we have every state has got a state nursing council, and recently Indian Nursing Council have come up with a national registry for the nurses. Until date, they could not complete even 30% of it. Now the government is talking about something new. I mean, from next year, the nurses have to run behind that also, doing a state nursing council registration and a central nursing council registration. So why a nurse supposed to follow two registrations? Why can't we make it a single registration for nurses in India? So we always demand that single registration for nurses in India. Okay, they can keep it up to 5 years. Okay, after 5 years, they'll have to renew it. We understand. Then only we will be having an exact count of people working in the industry. But keeping two registration, no, we cannot support for that, because it's again a big process, and we know how these government officials are going to respond to the nurses. So we don't want that anymore. Because every nurses were asking me the same question: why would we need two registration? Okay, if a doctor can practice with a single registration, why would a nurse can practice it or work in anywhere in India? Even there are a lot of judgment from the High Court saying that the nurse can practice anywhere in India under any state nursing council with one registration. But the government is not allowing us to do that.
What is your opinion on the process of recognition of colleges and institutions?
Okay, so they have mentioned one thing: the board can hire a third party, a private player, for the inspection purpose, or maybe for the recognition of colleges and institutions. So currently, what the council does is that they prepare a committee. They call it as inspection committee under the state and central nursing council, and these people are nurses. They go and physically verify the condition of every institute, and depends upon the feasibility, they provide them with affiliations. If they found the institute is not feasible, then they reject it. If they found the institute is feasible, then of course they approve it, and they'll be getting the affiliations. But now what is going to happen with hiring a third party for a recognition and affiliation? There are chances of favoring those institutions by maybe for a monetary benefit, or maybe for another reasons, which will reduce the quality of nursing education in India. Because if you start giving affiliation to all the colleges and school of nursing in India without looking at the quality, then of course you are going to reduce the quality of nursing education in India, which ultimately reduces the quality of nursing care in the hospitals, and the sufferers would be the patients. So we demand those third parties should not be allowed to do any kind of inspections, or they should not be allowed to do any kind of affiliation to the institutions and colleges in India.
Would you like to say something about overall Indian healthcare system?
So what I was trying to tell you is that, like US, we always believe, and our politicians believe mostly because they take treatment from US when they are in need of it. And majority of our healthcare people migrate to US and Canada because they have a stabilized healthcare system there in their country. Similar way, our nation also needs a stabilized healthcare which is affordable and accessible to the public. Public means the people who are from the villages, who are from the tier 3 cities, and they should be in a position to afford those better quality care, so that our nation will stand ahead of US, and tomorrow we can definitely say that we have the best healthcare system among other countries in the globe. And for that, our people are working fearlessly, and we will definitely achieve that through a collective approach from our end for the development of our nation.